My name is Dominic Lightfoot. I started off as a janitor back in 1991.
How did I come to have a job at the Paducah Gaseous Diffusion plant?
My name is Candy Morris, and I have been at the Gaseous Diffusion for 31 years now.
1977 is when I first started working there. And some people had told me, why don't you try getting in at the plant?
Prior to going there, I was getting ready to go into the Army. And at that time, back in the early 70s, it was just hard to get a good job.
A lot of people worked there, and it was about as good a job in this area that you can get.
They need some black operators at the plant out there. And he said, go out there and fill your application out,
My name is William Stanley Jones. I was recruited right there at the school. They were looking for black people that could handle the job.
At one time I was helping a guy out in one of my jobs. He said, hey man, you should come out and work at the plant. And I told him, I said, oh man, they never hired me, man.
I would tell anybody, if they had the opportunity to come out there and work, you need to come. It's a great job.
I can't say that I'm thankful for my job, but then I can say too, it's like I had to fight for my job.
And I put in words for a lot of people. Some got hired and some didn't.
It takes somebody, at that time, it took somebody knowing somebody to get in.
I remember for me coming in 91, there was a guy named Lad Mathis, H.C. Mathis was there.
Tyrone Civil, Barbara Burge, Lad Mathis, Frank Shanklin. Well, Frank Shanklin was there before I was, but he was instrumental in getting a lot of African Americans in.
Lad looked like a guy that could be the doctor, he could be the president, he could be whoever, and he looked like me.
Barbara Burge, who was over Human Resources. She was very active out there. And the list could go on. As I said, you had those that, there was a Marshall Pullen that was very strong in the union. He was vocal, very vocal. Sometimes Marshall wasn't right, but he was definitely one of those that was gonna go to bat for you.
They would go outside the community and seek people to come. Mainly they would go to HBCUs. They would go and seek people out to come be employed at the Paducah Gas Diffusion plant.
It was at a point in society where it wasn't any black people out there with skilled jobs.
They weren't gonna let you go very far, They were saying, well, we done our job, we got you in here,
Well, if you look at where the African American was at the Paducah Gas Diffusion plant, they was hired as janitors, laborers, worked in the laundry. So they got the low-end jobs.
I guess they thought we didn't know very much or whatever, but we did. We had just as much education as anybody else.
The culture wasn't really good for a black person coming in there. Taking away jobs from them, from the white man. That's what they call it.
We wasn't getting the opportunities, to make the money that white people were getting.
You very seldom find an African American in those type of positions. They get so close, but as you hear about the glass ceiling, they don't get up there.
Well, you had some hardcore people, that didn't accept it, But I said majority of the people, they had to go along with it,
Now, there were some times when you didn't, feel comfortable.
You can tell when you walk into a room and people are talking and the conversation stops, you know who it's about,
I was a frontline supervisor in the Cascade building. I'm the senior person when we go in there, but they felt more comfortable talking to the white guy than talking to me.
Man, I've worked in places where I knew some people weren't very excited to see me.
I feel that we are underestimated, we're undervalued, and we're marginalized.
I did feel, I know some people there didn't really want me there because of my color. It's not that I couldn't do the job, because I did my job, but you have that wherever you go.
I try my best to look at it as, that's his problem or her problem, not mine.
You feel that way because people want to treat you that way.
I know when I was out there, if a black supervisor take it and make a mistake, which they're all gonna make mistakes, don't blow it all out of proportion. Then when a white supervisor make a mistake, sweep it on the rug,
One guy could do this, I could do the same thing, I would be chastised for it. when the schedule was put out and they had me in a different position than where I was supposed to be, I complained about it. They said, we'll take care of it the next time. And the next time never came. It was always like that. It was always like that.
When you're in a place such as that where you take different people from different backgrounds and you know, people that maybe never even went to school with a person of color, they might tend to have some, not so much scared, but maybe have some doubt.
By having an African American just there, what they'll say is a lot different than when we all by ourselves.
When you put people together and people gel, so to speak, makes for a better atmosphere, working place, working environment.
It's just not about equality, it's equity, fairness, you know, across the board. It's gonna be there one day.
I would have never envisioned in 1991 that I would be over a department. You know, we worked, it was a 24-hour operation. The lights didn't go off at 4 o'clock. You know, for people that work shift work, and I did that for a period of time. You know, we ate together. The relationships that we had with our families became our relationships.
Everybody it was like a family.
I mean, we all got along real good. We were just a happy group of people working together.
I enjoyed working there. I was meeting good individuals there. You know, you spend 42 years there and you work roughly 8 hours per day, so you spend a lot of time with individuals at the plant, and then that relationship carry on over to after you retire or whatever.
I see a lot of people at work now who, I mean, they get along.
It's good because everybody's not the same and everybody has different backgrounds, so being younger, it's great to be in a room with a lot of different personalities, because I feel that when you got a lot of different personalities, you can't never really, you know, click up, because you always have to respect the individuality of each individual that you work beside.
It wasn't always easy. We had our, you know, our rough spots along the way, but all in all, I'm glad it happened the way it did. If I had to do it again, I maybe would change a few things, but not very many.
But if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again, because, you know, I'm 73 years old now, so had a good life out there, you know.
It meant a lot just to be able to come to work knowing that I was going to get a paycheck and I was going to be able to put some of that back and still enjoy life.
There's a value in education that I find. I don't necessarily say that you have to go to college, but you do have to do the work. And again, that education also helps when you're dealing with racism. You know, because it is a form of education. If you look in and study and analyze and asking the question why.
The culture, what needs to be done is just treat everybody as equal until they prove different. And that's both races.
I think we need to speak truth to situations more. Even though some people don't want to hear it, and sometimes the truth hurts. But we have to speak out.
You know, just in line with things, we still have things that are present or prevalent because people just don't realize it. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I'm saying that they're willing to fight that challenge to make things better.
Giving them more, us, the younger ones especially. And I think if we could, you know, encourage them a little more and see what it is that they might like to do and encourage them and give them the chance. See what they can do. They might move on up.
I'm still standing on the shoulders of my parents with Clay Vassar and Martha Reeves. You know, you appreciate them of their commitment to the job. And I was able to, you know, look at the work, you know, the Dominique Lightfoots and the Stevie Greens and continuously do, and the Kent Leggs and the Tyrone Civils, you know, just great quality people